Hey guys, I hope you're having a good weekend. Today we're going to look at solving a quadratic equation in vertex form. So you may want to pause the video so that you can write this down. Vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So remember, we've worked with this equation before. Remember that h and k represents the vertex. Remember that a represents the stretch or compression. Okay, so first of all, example 1, notice that this is not in vertex form. This is in standard form. So if I want to solve this equation in vertex form, I'm going to need to complete the square. Now I will abbreviate that with CTS going forward, completing the square. So that way we have a perfect square, okay? So here we go. So notice that our a value is 1. So we're going to go ahead and move the constant over. I'm going to go through this relatively quickly because we've already learned this. Okay? Remember, we leave a blank. Now I'm going to change forms. So x, half of 6 is 3. Then we square it. 3 squared is 9. If we add 9 on the left, we have to add 9 on the right. Okay? Then, actually, at this point, normally we would subtract the 1 and move it back over. But we're close enough to vertex form right now that we can go ahead and solve this equation for x. Okay? So you don't have to move the 1 back over here. Okay? So solving for x, first thing we want to do is cancel out the square. So we're going to square root both sides. Okay, so we get x plus 3 equals the square root of 1. Now listen very carefully. When you're solving, you have to, when you take the square root, you have to, this is important, very important, you have to do plus and minus whatever that answer is. So the square root of 1 is 1. Don't forget, plus and minus. That's why in the quadratic formula, we have the plus and minus the square root. Okay? Because with a quadratic, there's usually 2 real or complex solutions, usually. Unless the discriminant is a 0, then we have 1 real solution. So then we subtract the 3 from both sides. So x equals, and we have 2 solutions, so we're going to use the positive 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. And then we're going to do the negative 1 minus 3, which is negative 4. And so those are your 2 real solutions, and they're rational. Rational solutions, you can put the numbers in fraction form. Okay, let's look at another example, example 2. Let's go ahead and do, okay, let's take a look at this one. Here we have a vertex of 2, 25, and we have a vertical compression of 1/2, and it's in vertex form, so we can go ahead and just solve this. So we undo adding and subtracting first. And then we want to undo multiplying and dividing. So since we're multiplying by 1/2, we're going to undo that by multiplying by 2 on both sides. And then we want to undo the exponent. So don't forget, that this is going to be plus or minus. Anytime you take the square root, when you're solving, you're going to use plus or minus. I'm going to pull that I out. The negative 1 becomes an I. And then the 50, that's going to be 25 and 2. So that's going to be 5 and square root 2. And add 2 on both sides. So x equals plus or minus 5i radical 2 little tail plus 2. That's so I know it stops here. So two answers, 5i radical 2 plus 2 and negative 5i radical 2 plus 2. Well, there's the bell for fourth period. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. See you on Monday.